Welcome back to another episode of the Hot Seat Pod, brought to you by Wilson and Anthony to my left, and we're the Playbook Boys. And today, we're going to be talking about some bets, some good lines for you guys to talk about. I'm going to be talking about some picks from Prize Picks. He's going to be talking about some underdog picks. We got together, did some research, got you guys, and if you guys want to make some good money here, stay tuned for our video because we got a banger.
We got the locks from the AFC West, Wilson's division, so I'm going to let Wilson choose where we start off.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start off with the Super Bowl winners. We got
Broncos?
the Kansas City
Chiefs.
Yeah. Nah, Broncos next year.
I went weird with the Chiefs, bro. I don't know if I want to start. I want to hear what you got to say first.
Yeah, I mean, I had a pretty simple one. I had Patrick Mahomes over passing yards. He's at 4,299.
Damn.
Which is a lot, okay? But when you look at his career and stats, I think this is a steal of the line, okay? I think because they put out this line, because he had a statistically bad, probably his worst season last year, they put the line at this. If you look at what he had to throw to, it was really just between two guys with Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. Now he gets like double the help with Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. So I think his yardage should skyrocket, honestly. And in my opinion, I feel like this might be the best receiving core he's played with.
Whoa. I wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah.
All right, let me go through this.
That's my hot take for this line, okay?
Oh my gosh, I gotta look at this. Like Tyreek, I'm trying to think who else they had when it was Tyreek, but I feel like there wasn't really a wide. Like Tyreek and Kelce, you don't think are good enough for that?
Like okay, like Tyreek and Kelce, that duo is good for sure. But like the supporting cast that he has, like with the team he has now, I think it's better.
Okay, I have a list of them here. Okay, from when Mahomes started. Okay.
Yeah.
2018, it was Patrick Mahomes, Chris Conley, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce. But that was before Tyreek Hill was the wide receiver one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The next year, Mahomes, Shady, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Blake Bell, Kelce.
Yeah, I don't think that's better.
The next year, I think this one might have been better because if I'm remembering right, this team had just a lot of receivers. But Mahomes, Clyde, Tyreek Hill, Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce. And this is like Tyreek.
Yeah.
I think I'd take that one. McCole Hardman was there too.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like even that is really just been Tyreek and Kelce.
Okay.
I feel like Kelce back then was definitely better than Kelce now.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But Tyreek, comparing Tyreek to three solid receivers, I'm taking those three solid receivers. Because you have more,
like that.
Yeah, you have more options, you know. You have more options to throw to. And that means more yardage to you.
Okay, so in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes threw for... How much did Mahomes throw for? Mahomes threw for 47 40 yards. Mm-hmm. You think he could break that this season with this receiver core if it's better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Bro,
Okay.
I think he could probably reach 5. I'm not going to lie.
5K Mahomes?
5K, bro.
Okay.
Oh, because you reached 5K with...
Juju.
You reached 5K with Juju in MVS and
Yeah,
Kelce, too.
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think he could reach 5 for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I took...
Bet on that.
I like that one, actually. You talked me into that one. This buzzer here will buzz it if we're fading the bet, okay?
All right, yeah.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones?
I took a Chris Jones bet. I took a Chris Jones bet.
Okay.
And I took the under on
What's his sacks?
11.25 sacks.
11.25. Okay.
First of all,
11.25.
get this out the way. Jones is a D tackle. It's kind of harder to get sacks at that position. Especially with George Karlaftis there, who I think is going to have a breakout year, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think like we're due to see like Karlaftis just kind of explode for the Chiefs next year. I also think losing L'Jarius Sneed is a hit for them for sure because now quarterbacks are going to have a lot not more time necessarily, but they can make quicker decisions because their receivers are getting more open, right? So they're not going to be sitting in the pocket as much getting hit. And I'm going to respect the Chiefs because they're the Chiefs and they're the best team in football. but they have a lot tougher of a schedule this year. Their schedule is really tough this year, and I think they're playing against better O-lines this year. I didn't pull up their schedule, but they have here. They're playing teams like the 49ers, the Buccaneers, the Bills, the Texans, and the Steelers, who I think are all a lot better than a lot of the teams they played last year, you know? And sure, he might eat up the Broncos a couple times. They play the Panthers. He'll eat them up for sure. But they also play the Bengals and the Ravens. You know, like, that is a tough schedule. And they're defending champ. They could definitely handle it. But I just think that's going to be exhausting on Chris Jones to have to go out there and put up. He had 15 sacks last year, bro. He had 9 and then 15 sacks the year before that. I think 11 is just kind of like he's going to have to start regressing soon.
Yeah.
He's about to be, I believe, 30 D tackles. Yeah. I feel like that's like kind of when they start to slow down.
Rest a little bit. No, it's for sure. Like, I'm looking at his numbers right now. They definitely like fluctuate throughout the years. Like back in like 2017, he had like 6.5, and then 2018 he had like 15.5. So it's like it really jumps up and down. Me personally, I don't know if I would touch like defensive player blitz, but that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one for sure.
They were hard to bet on, bro. Like Mahomes, I think is a safe one, but like I'm not touching none of their receivers. Yeah. I'm not touching Kelsey because he's older. That sounded sus, but I'm not about to touch Pacheco just because like I think Pacheco's good, but I just don't know if he's real yet. Yeah. You know, so I think I'm gonna go with Chris Jones regression.
I do like that you mentioned George Karlaftis. I think that's how I pronounce it, but I think he's definitely gonna progress for the Chiefs, so he could definitely take up some of those sacks that he usually gets. That's funny. Going through that, I guess we'll go to the Chargers. I had an interesting bet for the Chargers. So you want to go first, or you think I
I think yours is probably more interesting. I went pretty easy. I went basic here. I went Justin Herbert over on 3,600 yards, bro. Like over? That, yeah. 3,600 yards is such a low bar for Justin Herbert, bro. His last 3 years, other than the year he was hurt, he finished with 4,300, 5,000, and 4,700, bro. So like I understand his receiving core got worse. But, like, losing Mike Williams is more of, like, losing stuff in the red zone. Keenan Allen, obviously, is the wide receiver one there. But I just think they have so many dudes that, like, one of them's going to have to pop off. They have a really good tight end room as well with Will Dissly, Hayden Hurst, and Donald Parham. Adding Joe Alt adds, like, more safety for him so he's not going to get hurt. Because I think the only way this really gets fucked up is if he gets hurt.
If he gets hurt, yeah. He can really throw to any of those guys. And
last year was the only year in his career where he went under this number. And he was hurt last year. Yeah. The last kind of thing I have is Harbaugh is a way better coach than Brandon Staley. Like, he is not going to put Herbert in positions to get hurt. If Herbert plays 16 games this year, I think he gets 4,000 yards. 16, not even 17. If he plays 15, I think he could hit 4,000. And 3,600 yards, come on.
That would be crazy with this receiver core he's working with.
Yeah.
He has shit, bro. He has such shit receivers. But
I just think he has a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
You don't like the tight end room?
I mean, the tight end room is solid for sure. Yeah, you definitely have a lot of people to throw to in that case. I think it just depends on, like, the system they run in. And that's kind of the reason why I chose this guy as my line. But I had Ladd McConkey for 6.5 receptions over.
Okay.
Yeah. So
receptions or touchdowns?
Receptions.
Receptions? Oh, 60.5.
60.5.
I think you said 6.5, bro. Oh. I was like, obviously, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Unless he Aaron Rodgers it on the first play.
60.5 receptions. I have that on the over. When I look at this, I see the Chargers. They went out to get Ladd McConkey in the second round. Leaving guys like Edenal Mitchell, Roman Wilson, Troy Franklin, and a lot of other guys that are still on the board. And I think they saw something in Ladd that no other teams did. And I think it's only right for them to utilize their second round pick in their offense. I can't really trust on the yardage with this guy or with any of the receivers because I don't really know how it's going to pan out. I think Herbert's bet is pretty safe too. But what I can bet on is that I think they're going to utilize McConkey a lot in their system.
Have
and
to.
I think he's going to get a lot of touches with Herbert throwing to him.
I also like him because I think with them losing Eckler, McConkey has the vibe of a great underneath receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Herbert definitely is going to feed that because he needs that. He could get 3,600 over, and then he could get his 6.5 catches.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like the way that I'm feeling about McConkey right now could be a similar way that I'm feeling about like how like Cooper Kupp was utilized or like Cooper was utilized in the offense.
Yes,
like not shown as the receiver one on the outside, but as a slot receiver that is like ran through.
I agree. I think he's gonna have a big year next year.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm rocking with that bet. I think we're 2 for 2 so far.
2 for 2.
I agree with yours. I would tell yours.
Okay, for sure.
Where do you want to go next?
Let's save my boys for last. Save my boys for last. We'll go with the Raiders.
Who'd you take?
I had an interesting one for the Raiders. This whole division it was interesting for me. I had Brock Bowers. You had Brock too?
I had the exact same bet you had.
Perfect.
We had the exact same bet on
Okay.
this. That means this is a lock. This is the first time we've done this.
That's crazy.
This is a lock.
That means you have to double down on this.
You got to put a thou wow on this one.
The house on this.
My line's a little more than yours. It's just 2 yards more. Though.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's no problem. I mean, my explanation kind of goes the same line as like the Chargers and McConkey. They spent a first-round pick on this guy, tight end wise, and a lot of projections were them looking at like an O-lineman and like a defensive guy. But I think they saw something with Brock as well, and they couldn't pass up on him.
Yeah.
I mean, you think I think he could definitely live up to like potential guys like Kellen Winslow, Vernon Davis, T.J. Hawkinson.
Damn.
That got like picked in the first round too,
Mm-hmm.
around that same range. I think what he's shown in college is like good enough for him to get over 600 yards or 700 yards.
Yeah, I think so too, bro. I think he could definitely. So what I kind of tracked was I went and looked at Laporta's stats from last year.
Yeah.
And I looked at McBride's stats from last year because I kind of wanted to get a gauge of like what these high value tight end ones get when they come into the league. And Laporta had 10 touchdowns last year. I was like, I'm not gonna touch touchdowns then because I don't know if I think McBride only had 3 and Laporta had 10. So I'm like, I'm not gonna. I think his line was like 6.5 touchdowns. I'm not gonna touch that because that's scary.
Yeah.
But McBride had 830 yards last year and 3 touchdowns. I think Brock Bowers definitely as a rookie could have a similar season to that. I believe Kyle Pitts cracked 1,000 in his first year.
He did.
So I don't know why Brock Bowers can't have 650.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just how I feel. I think also if Gardner is starting over Aiden O'Connell next year, Kylan Granson and Will Mallory, the fucking Colts tight ends last year, had over 500 yards. And I think Brock Bowers is a level, 2 levels, 3 levels, 4 levels above that.
Yeah.
So I don't see why he can't have that 650 mark.
I definitely agree, man. I feel like, they already had Michael Mayer, and for them to draft another tight end like that, like, he's going to show out.
You think Michael Mayer hurts this bet a little bit?
No, I don't think he has to worry.
Yeah.
I don't think there's no worries on this one.
I ain't got no worries.
You have both the hot seat podcasters, putting the bet on this. I think this is a lock.
He's got to take notes. I always say his name wrong. Antonio Pierce?
Antonio Pierce?
The coach?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's his name.
I remember I was calling him I was calling him Antonio Daniels last time.
Antonio
Pierce. But yeah, let's go to the Broncos now, man.
Yeah, my boys. I wanted to go pretty interesting and weird on this one, but I just went pretty basic.
Okay.
I took Bo Nix's passing yards line.
Okay.
He's at 2,849. I took the over on that, obviously. Yeah, Courtland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Josh Reynolds, and Marvin Mims for Bo Nix to get 3,000 yards, and I think he could do it. He's already working with a previous teammate before in Troy Franklin, who's gonna probably be the receiver too over there.
Really?
Behind Courtland Sutton, I think at the end of the season he could definitely surpass that.
Really?
And also you have 2 other support receivers in Josh Reynolds and Marvin Mims that will always be available. We already seen the speed with Marvin Mims too, and also the ability of him making space and open catching in long-term distances. And also Josh Reynolds he has his games where he goes for 100 yards randomly.
Big game, Josh.
I trust Bo as he's like been looking great in training camps, and he's definitely gonna be,
Is he gonna be the quarterback one to start the year though?
I think so.
Okay, I think that's my biggest worry with him. But I went kind of similar. I went on the receiving front. I took Cortland Sutton over 5.5 receiving touchdowns.
5.5 receiving touchdowns.
Last year, do you know how many touchdowns Cortland Sutton had?
He had like 8 or 10, right?
He had 10, bro.
Yeah.
10 touchdown a year for Cortland Sutton. I think they're going to be losing a lot more than last year, so they're going to be throwing a lot more. So that'll help Bo Nix as well. I do think Javonte is slowly falling off, and Sutton's going to have to be their end zone number one guy. I don't think they have really a tight end or a running back, any dudes who I'm like, these are red zone threats. Yeah. I think Cortland Sutton is like Cortland Sutton might be a top 5 receiver in the red zone in the NFL right now. You know,
dude, he's that guy, man.
He is.
He's that fade guy. You just throw it up to him, he's gonna get it.
And then even if Sutton ends up getting traded, which there is rumors about, he could go somewhere similar to like if I were to see him get traded anywhere, I'd want him to go to the Steelers, bro. Because you got Pickens to be this dude to get you down the field, and then Sutton will get you in the end zone. And I think that would be perfect for that team. Also, I think losing Jerry Jeudy is perfect for Sutton because Jerry Jeudy, I feel like, was always over-featured. You know, like, realistically, Jerry Jeudy probably, maybe other than his rookie year, hasn't had a season that he was better than Cortland Sutton.
No.
But Jerry Jeudy's the dude who's, like, looked at as the wide receiver one, who's getting the most touches, when Cortland Sutton should be that guy. Because Cortland Sutton is a fucking great receiver. Tier 3 receiver, I think.
Tier 3 receiver?
Fair?
I could agree with that.
You know, so Cortland Sutton, I think, big year for Cortland Sutton. I don't think he's going to get 10. I wouldn't be mad, though, because I do think he's one of my favorite receivers in the NFL. But 5.5, he could do that. You know, 5.5, he could do that.
Yeah, I like those. I like that sentence.
Yeah.
One of my favorite receivers.
He's one of my favorite receivers. He's a great guy. Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. Nah, for sure. I think for that bet, I don't think we're fading any of our bets, huh?
I feel like all of them go hand in hand. You took a receiver, I took the quarterback.
Yeah.
Vice versa. We both took Brock Bowers, and then Chris Jones, offense, defense, baby, boom.
We ball, baby.
We ball, run the play. Now, we're out. Thank you guys for watching. Again, just to reiterate, I did all my bets on Underdog. Will did all his bets on Prize Picks.
You get a little taste of both. You know, if you want to win some money, play these bets.
Play them, and run the play.
Bang.